Welcome to another episode of Success After Lockdown. Myself, Anthony, co-host over here, Eric. That's right. On today's episode, we got the brother Duncan, Rashan. Like, why I always pronounce it wrong? And Patrick, right? Three young brothers that formerly came home from doing some time in prison, who have now came home and changed their life and doing some amazing things, giving back to the community, from what I understand, right? Doing good. How's everybody feeling today?
Great.
Good. All right, we're going to show the brothers and sisters out there that are listening that change is possible. You just have to be the change that you want to be.
Oh, no question. And you know, these brothers here, they was handpicked personally, you know, because Success After Lockdown was created, you know, from Sing Sing Correctional Facility. So it was a vision that I had personally, you know, and before my release, you know, I thought about highlighting those men and women that's formerly incarcerated, that's home and that's staying home. So y'all know the story all too well, you know, because I grew up under y'all. You know, I came to Sing Sing after them, after everybody here. So when I got there, I learned from everybody. And, you know, I always had this vision for a long time that we used to go to the graduations in the college program and in the organizations, and I used to see men and women, you know, that came back to the prison and speak on behalf of, you know, formerly incarcerated men and women. And I always said, when I go home, this is something I want to highlight, because all too well we know the recidivism rate is so high, you know, and we like those chosen few. We like those small barrels, those small crabs in the barrel, so to speak, you know, that don't get that highlight, don't get that shine. And there are actually, you know, brothers that's coming home and that's making a difference for their community, for society as a whole. And so this is why, you know, this was created, this platform. And this is why your brothers were brought here today to highlight your successes in your own right. All of y'all have, you know, success in your own right. Before we start that, I just want to say personally that, you know, every last one of y'all inspired me, man. Y'all inspired me to do what I'm doing today. Y'all helped in my growth and development. I wasn't there. I wasn't quite there. I came to Sing Sing in 2006. I wasn't quite there yet, but I had it. And I watched y'all. I don't even know how much y'all knew I was watching y'all. You know what I mean? And just, you know, following your footsteps, following everything, you know, creating resumes. 10 years before I went to the parole board. You know what I mean? Y'all helped me come home. And y'all probably don't even know, you know, how intricate y'all were in my life and my growth and development. And so I want to thank y'all for coming today and being able to, you know, sit here with me and actually, you know, create this platform, man, and actually bring it to the community and help our youth and help circumvent this, you know, this thing that's going on in the criminal justice system, man, with our babies, with our young ones. You know, and so with that being said, you know, this is my partner, Anthony Colon. He's also, you know, a personal friend that I grew up with, you know, from my block. And, you know, he's also a success story in his own right. You know, born and raised in the Bronx, you know, he's in Florida now. He's a Florida guy, you know. That's his look. He's a Florida guy. That's my guy right there. That's a beautiful thing, guys. You know why? Because he's in a different journey in life now. You know, the last time we seen each other, we did nothing but negativity. Since we seen each other, there's nothing but positivity, and that's it. We going straight up and no other way, no other how, no nothing. You know, no halfway in, halfway out with this. So, you know, with that being said, I'd just like to, you know, hand it over to Anthony to finish up and talk to the man.
First of all, like that whenever I hear someone pay accolades to another person while in prison, is such a big honor and privilege, to be honest with you, because we're so used to people looking at the negative to give positive affirmation for. We usually get big ups for how bad we're doing, how bad our reputation is, how negative we're doing, right? It's like, yo, Rashan, he just took this guy's head off, he just did that, right? But to say that, man, this brother is positive and he made a positive impact in my life, or Duncan, like, that's an amazing privilege that you guys have to take that in and really, at the end of the night, man, be like, yo, you know what? Like, someone saw the positive in me, not just the negative that I did. And I'm going to go down the line because I know, Duncan, right? You were there, what, 16 years?
16 years.
16 years, and you made some drastic changes in your life and what you're doing today. And I know that you're part of the Hudson Link. Is that correct?
That's absolutely.
That's, and Hudson Link, yes, I know what it is for our listeners out there. Give us a little synopsis on what the Hudson Link is, what it does, and how it changes lives for brothers and sisters that are locked down and incarcerated, and even those that come home. Yes.
We only got 40 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's on you. You can do this.
So Hudson Link, our name is Hudson Link for Higher Education in Prison, Incorporated. What we provide men and women. We in 6 correctional facilities now. Our newest site is the Green Haven site. We just started this summer. We just started running classes at Green Haven. We provide them with an opportunity to not just get a college education, but to earn a degree. I believe our numbers at this time is we have given out almost close to 6,000 degrees. At this point, we have about 4,000 alumni who are home right now. But more than that, I always say this, more than that, students earn the degrees. They take the courses, they do the work, they earn their degrees. What Hudson Link really does is we provide hope, we give hope.
Yes,
right?
yes.
We give hope, not just to the students, to our students, but to the families as well. EB, that's what I call them, EB.
That's right. Of course.
We know. Okay.
They know.
As EB said earlier, like, he been to the graduations, we used to work the graduations. We actually coordinated the graduations, right? Set up everything, right? We took care of everything that went on inside the facility as far as graduation goes. It's done by the men or the women inside the facilities, right? Which is skill, right? Which is setting up skill bearing. But more importantly, at the graduations, you see the impact that what we do have on the family members. It's an opportunity for a man or a woman, for their children to see them in a different light. I know for me, there was a lot of stigmatism placed on my children and even my mom about me going to prison, me being in prison. To have that opportunity, to give them an opportunity to go back and say, I just came from my father's graduation. My dad just got his bachelor's degree, right? Because Sing Sing is one of the most unique prisons in the country. I believe in the world. It's the only prison that you could come to without a GED and leave with a master's degree.
Exactly.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So, we provide hope. We give hope not just to our students that we serve, but to the families as well. We give men and women the opportunity to learn something new about themselves. I always said this. The reason why the education system is messed up is because how we look at the word education. If you look at that word and you go to the etymology of that word, right? This is my degrees coming out right now. If you look at the etymology of that word, education, it comes from the Greek word, which means educatio. Educatio means to bring out. Most of us wind up in prison because we lack 3 things. I'm about to jack you, Rob. Identity, purpose, and direction.
Take it. That's
We don't know who we are.
Yeah.
So we just go outside, we go on the block, and we follow whatever we think it is. We idolize whatever we see as success at that time. That's why when EB first pitched the show to me, I'm like, you know what, yeah, absolutely. Because far too many of our young people, their definition, what they see as success is all wrong, it's all backwards. It's all backwards right now. Like, and he always says it, success in your own right.
That's right.
My success is not just predicated on my job, my salary, the work I do. I shouldn't say this on the pod. The work I do, I might do it for free. I might do it for free. But I have a family. My success also, I also predicate myself, I measure myself about success is how good I am as a dad.
Yeah.
I took 16 years away from my children. So my success on my dad as a husband, I'm married now. I always measure that. How successful I am being at marriage. And that's I have some work to do. Just recently I shared with my coworkers, he was going to something and said, listen, you can't lock in, bro. He said, what?
Yeah.
I said, you married now, you can't lock in.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what you talking about? Sticks, that's what they
Yeah,
call it.
yeah. You
I
can't
said,
run
yo,
away
when
from
we
it.
was
You can't run away from
inside,
it.
we going through something, we go in the cell, put our curtain up, we stay in 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Right? Go around, now I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
You married. You can't lock in, put the curtain up, bro. You have to share.
Yeah.
You know, and that came out of a conversation I had with my wife one day. You know, I was going through some things. My brother was sick. It was weighing on my mom's heart, terminally ill, right? That's really, only really started using that term because we was in disbelief. It's my baby brother. We was in disbelief. Like, he too young to be dying, right? And my wife was trying to be there for me, and I was giving her one-word answers. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. Nah, yeah, no. And she said to me one day, she said, you know, I'm trying to be there for you, and you locking me out. And that just stuck with me. That stung me. Boom. I'm like, oh, man, because the last thing you want to do is have a woman feel like you locking her out.
Facts.
That's the last thing you want to have in the household. And that made me think about that, because I'm used to, and we keep everything to the vest. Very rarely do we get out, which is another thing that the program does. I met Rashan participating in the educational program. We went through a whole year in the certificate program as classmates, only to realize that we were much closer than that at the graduation when I saw his sister down there. And we talk about names and reputations. If you asked his sister, who is Sticks, the description you would get would be totally different from the one that you would get from Rashan. If you say, tell me about this guy Sticks, totally different.
Right.
Like two different people, which was my plan when I went there. I said, I gotta do different. I gotta be different.
Yeah.
I gotta change this up. I walked around the yard at first with a lot of guys from Brooklyn, Marcy, and all that. And then I realized that we walk around the yard every time somebody new come from the hood. We should be sad, but we happy.
Right.
We walk around the yard and we tell the same stories about the same guys. We just got a new guy in the group.
Yeah.
So I want to do something different. Let me go down to this school building. Let me get involved with school. Let me prove to myself that I'm the person that everybody said I was and the person that I know I can be. And that's why I started my educational journey. And as I started going through that whole process, I'm like, man, I want to share this, which is something that doesn't really happen in prison like that.
Yeah.
People don't go around sharing it.
I was gonna say that it's kind of easier to stay being a part of the negative group than to be like, I don't want to do no drugs today. Nah, I'm going to school. You know what I mean, and do something positive with your life.
I want my son to actually go into, and we get back to you too, Sticks, but I want my son to go into that transition, that education transition, or what was it? That pivotal moment, what they say pivotal moment for you, during your incarceration. Was it in Sing Sing? Was it, somewhere else?
Oh, first of all, where you from? How much time did you do? And what are you doing today?
My name is Rashan. People call me Ra. Grew up with the name Man. Had to change that. Grew up in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
Okay.
I did 23 years. I went in when I was 16 years old for a whole lot of dumb shit. Did 23 years, came home 2015. I've been home since then.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Right, you gotta celebrate that. Or I was a baby when I went in there, so I had to really raise myself inside of there. Currently, I'm the Associate Director for Community Safety for an organization called Neighbors in Action that falls under another parent organization. But if you ever heard of SOS Save Our Streets, I'm Save Our Streets Brooklyn. I work in the Crown Heights section, although I'm from the Style. I worked in the Style as well. What we do is primarily we have a community-based approach to reducing gun violence. And if anyone is paying attention to the news and what's going on in our communities and have been going on in our communities for some time, is that there's gunplay. There's people being shot. Yeah. There's 60-year-olds being shot, 1-year-olds being shot. And my lifestyle, as a young person, before I even turned 16, I'm talking about 13, 14, 15, before I even turned 16 years old and got arrested, I was out there with gunplay. I was one of the persons that was out there shooting shit up, making the community unsafe. So while I was inside, I had to make a determined idea about what I'm going to do when I get out. Did it come easy? Did it come immediately? Had a long stretch, 23 years. Nah, it didn't come easy. But you did speak about what was the catalyst, what was the turning point, what was the pivotal moment. For me, the pivotal moment came when I lost my moms. My mom's passed away while I was in there.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. And then a month after that, I lost my grandmother, my mom's mom.
Oh, wow.
You know, and these were two people along with other matriarchs, my aunt and my great-grandmother, who I lost prior to coming to prison, who tried to instill some decent values in me to try to get me to become a man. And unfortunately, they didn't see me become a man. So when I was in there, I said, you know, son, I got to do something different. I got to be the man that they want me to be. So you hear this thing about wish fulfillment, right? Like there's people in our lives who we let down. And some are here, some aren't here. But you want to fulfill that wish that they have for you to be a better person. So that pivotal moment came for me then, is that, you know, wanting to live up to the person that my mom, my grandmas, and my aunt and my great-grandmother would want me to be. It started out when I used to read these Donald Goins books. I know people know about Donald Goins. I graduated from reading Donald Goins to reading Charles Avery Harris, Mac and Gangster, Con Man, Broad Players. Those books was official hood novels. What it did was it helped me think differently, although it glorified a lot of the street life that I was a part of. And, you know, I wasn't no pimp or no Mac, but, you know, I was like, damn, I could talk to a woman like this if I, you know, get this vernacular down. But it also made you think. So the brother that was feeding me this information, he was Muslim too. We was on Keep Lock, Katsaki, E2, right? He's feeding me. Then he ran out. He ran out of those books. He said, yo, I only got one more book for you. Boom, slid me the autobiography of Malcolm X. I kid you not, man. I was flying through the novels, the hood novels and all that. But when I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, I was literally writing words down that I didn't know. I didn't even know I knew these. I didn't know these words, the definitions and all that. So I'm writing these words down. One time I wrote a letter to my man. He wrote me back. He was like, yo, why are you using such prodigious words? So I'm like, damn, let me look that up. It's big words. And I was like, wow. So that's when I had to build my vocabulary, because I know I had to change my thinking and change the way that I present myself and speak to people in order for me to really exemplify change.
Absolutely.
And I knew I did it because some years later when I was in Sing Sing, this was like maybe in 2013, my co-defendant was there with me, and he was talking to his mother-in-law, who we grew up under. This lady hated my guts, like, for real. But you know, when you go away, people realize, like, you know, damn, they're in a bad situation. So he's like, yo, you want to speak to Miss Merle? God bless her soul. And I was like, yeah, let me speak to Miss Merle. So I got on the phone. She's like, what's up, man? How you doing? And I'm talking to her. She said, yo, can I tell you something? I said, what? She said, you sound like a damn lawyer the way you speak. Like your whole language, the way that you speak has changed. You know, and I was like, wow, that made me really think about, you know, being a better person. But yeah, I got my GED in Katsaki. From Katsaki, I came to Sing Sing. Like Stick said, like that's one of the prisons that you can go from having a GED to become, you know, a person with a master's degree. If I'd have stayed in Katsaki, I'd have never got that. I was working in the industry, making 42 cents. Every 2 weeks, you see like $50, $60. That's good for a person that's on the inside. You don't got to call your family for a package or for no money. You making some bread, and you can stack that bread. But, you know, got transferred, went to Sing Sing. Bread is no more there. But the more important, the more valuable thing was education. Got there, got a certificate in ministry and human services program where, you know, I met Sticks. There was people in there that really challenged us. John Valverde. There was so many people in there that challenged us. Tamir, Sean Pika,
my boss.
Everybody challenged us. And I remember the first course they started us out with was about writing. Because you got to be able to write to get yourself out of prison too. You know, to master that pen, that was the first thing that they taught us about how to write, how to syntax, how to put subject-verb agreement together. And I took that very seriously because I remember when I was on the island, I wrote one of my girls at the time, and I got on the jack, and I'm like, yo, what's up? You got my letter? You didn't even write me back. What's up? You got my letter? She's like, yeah, but you know what's so crazy? I'm like, what? She said, I couldn't even read that joint. Words was pushed together and everything like that. But that's when I began to take it more seriously about education. And then about reading the autobiography of Malcolm X, knowing that Malcolm X only had an 8th grade education, but autodidactic, self-taught inside. And I said, damn, if I teach myself, but also I add this education to it, I could be a beast. I could be a monster.
Absolutely.
Went from certificate in ministry, went to Hustle Inc. You know, definitely Miss Muhammad, God rest her soul, who made it possible for a lot of us to get inside the program. Went from there, excelled, got a bachelor's degree. I wasn't even gonna go to the master's program. I took a long time dragging my feet on my application to send it in for the master's program until I met this beautiful woman in my life. That's my wife. You know, she was in Mega Evans College at the time, and she was like, yo, why not? What's wrong? Like, literally to the deadline, she was like, yo, you better submit that application. I submitted like on the day that it was due. Got in and excelled in there. You know, there were some professors in there that actually challenged us. Philosophy, pastoral care and counseling, which is so needed. You was talking about, brother, and about how you run mental health facilities. That's so much needed in our communities, counseling, mental health, because we see the stuff about people getting thrown on the train, people getting stabbed, and they always say this person had a mental health issue. So what are we doing to address that, really?
Absolutely.
You know, so that's more important. So yeah, I got a big job, man, and my job actually started before I even was employed by them people, because inside I was working for the Youth Assistance Program for YAP.
That's right.
Yeah, and we was talking to young people about putting guns down, talking to young people about changing their thinking, and to be committed to doing that on the outside is so important. So, you know, I know we're gonna have a dialogue. Yeah, absolutely. Big up the YAP. Roll, all the people that was able to get us inside that program. So many lives that was changed. Even when I came home in 2015, I was downtown Brooklyn by the court buildings. I was walking by, and this kid just jumped up. Young dude, he jumped up. He said, "Oh, yo, Rashan." I didn't remember his name, but I know I impacted his life. And I was like, yo, where I know you from? He said, yeah. I was like, damn, so yo, tell me your name again. But it was just so important. I hadn't seen that kid in years, you know, because I went to Otisville, Queensboro, came home. But to know that someone recognized your face and remember your story, which was so important.
The impact, you know.
So, like, I want to hear about Griffin, man. I want to hear your story too, man, real quick, man. Because I remember when I met you, and when we was in Sing Sing, when we landed in Sing Sing, I remember watching you a lot. You dealt with a lot of equipment, you know, and I used to be like, damn, I need to start learning about, you know, about equipment and running things I never did. You know, I don't know anything about equipment. Right now, that's why I think I'm challenged with this technology out here now today. But so like I want you to just explain to me, like, what inspired you in your growth and development during that transition, after you give us, you know, your name and how much time you did. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, and what you go by and what, you know,
all right,
what you prefer.
Well, as you know, my government name is Patrick. My honorable name is Supreme. Everybody call me Preem or Primo. Basically, I did 25 years. I came home 2018, and then basically I'm from East New York, Brooklyn.
Okay.
And now I'm living in the Bronx, and EB's old stomping grounds.
But
what I really want to say is that, yo, I love this brother right here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's much deeper than you. I don't even think he remember. Like, we had a trailer together, and both of our kids was playing together. Yeah. And when he came home, we actually bumped heads again after Sing Sing in Woodburn. Right. You know, I made the board. He was fighting. But I knew he was gonna get out because we all came from the same thing. You, like Rashan said, and Dunk Sticks, definitely. We all went through, you know, the certificate program. Bob here. Oh yeah, you know. So unfortunately, I still had a little bit growing to do. So I left Sing Sing and I didn't get the opportunity. But like Rashan, our stories are similar. I lost my moms, and I knew that things had to change. And when I lost my moms, I used to play chess with an old dude named Lou in Green Haven. And he said to me, he said, Prem, I'm not going to play chess with you no more. I'm about to tell you something that's really going to bother you. And, yo, if you don't want to talk to me no more, it's all right. But while we play this game, I want you to think about these, and I'm going to ask you some questions, and just be honest. So I said, yeah, go ahead, Lou, he can't, you know, I lived my life. I was a wild boy, man. What could you say, you know? And he said to me, he said, yo, give me 5 things that you could do right now. If at the time Pataki was the governor, said he was going to let you go. And I was like, yeah, 5 things, I could give you that. He said, without the help of your family, no support system, your skills, your life skills. So I stumbled. I maybe gave him about 2. So he said, all right, that's nothing, man. Don't get upset. I still got you. He said, now give me 5 negative things you can do. I ran off to about 10, going on to 15. So he said, yo, that's why we not gonna play chess no more. You need to do something different with your life because right now your plan is failure. He said, because the day you get out of this prison, right? He said, I got too much time. I probably die in here. And he did, unfortunately, may he rest in peace. He said that you're gonna go back to what you knew best. And that's not conducive for you or your family. And he said, yo, just think about your mother's spirit. You think it's gonna rest right? If you went in the same way you came out? And then it started making me think about different things like metacognition, the art of thinking. Right. So with the art of thinking, I said, what do I love the most? And it was music. So everywhere I went, I got somewhere where I was setting up music, or RTA and things like that. And it built a foundation for me. So I never lost sight of it. I even taught myself how to read and write music while I was in there. And I said, at the end of the day, I don't plan to come home and be, a 52-year-old singer or rap artist or nothing like that. But I would like to get behind the scenes and give somebody and mentor people and give them quality music, because when I came home, I was like surprised by, this music that they got now. I know we all here, we from the old school. And I guess that's how our parents looked at us when we with the Sugar Hill Gang and Cold Crush and everything. But basically I came home and it was funny. I was just talking to somebody about this. I wrote a parole plan, because we all had a parole class. You remember the parole class in Woodburn to prepare you. So, we did our own mock hearings and stuff like that. So as I was making my package, I made a long term and a short term. So, the short terms is like, reunite with my family, amend, ties and things like that, and then give back to the community the best way that I could. So now while I was in there, I always was a part of Osborne, the children's room. We all did that, and the give back and all these different things. So I said, I would go get all my services, the ART. I didn't need ASAT or anything like that, and then after that, do what I needed to do. So I did it. I went right down to the 175 Remsen, took my AR, and it was beautiful. And then I met some people, and it was kind of crazy. It's like how our life keep intertwining. Right. So now I get a job during COVID, doing community outreach, and we always do with SOS in the Bronx with Dre and them, Uni, and so it's like I'm seeing brothers that I did time with, but we are active in our community, and we're dealing with assembly people, community leaders, and activists. And where I live, like I know y'all know the news right now. Morris Avenue in that area is hot right now. Mount Hope they call it now. So I still wanted to make an impact, because a lot of people didn't really know during COVID, like what was their resources. Right. If you was pregnant, was it good for you to take the vaccination and stuff like that? And they sent us in some real serious areas. Y'all know about the Bronx. They sent us to East 233rd. Oh man. With all the
needed more projects and all that.
So,
the Coney,
I was trying to give people free masks and hand sanitizer and things like that. And they was like, some of them was like on some real religious. I don't need nothing but my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But it didn't deter me. And I was like, yo, people are dying from this. You need some type of protection, But at the end of the day, it was what I was always taught to do. It's like us being around. We always, what do they say that steel sharpens steel, or iron sharpens steel?
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, exactly. So what we was doing, we was all unique pieces of metal that came together while we was there and made that place, a presentable place to be at the time. Absolutely. To not, say, yo, because I'm here, I'm at the bottom of the low pole and stay in your some people like to say, oh man, I ain't gonna never be nothing. So my thing was to come out here and rewrite my narrative.
Absolutely.
And I'm doing it.
And I think that
Well, let's big up the non-profit organization. Like non-profits that was in the prison system with us, man.
It's just amazing, all the program that they have now in New York State, right? and I'm sure in other states, but I don't think it's not as big as great as that we have here in New York State. I just want to say it's always an honor and a privilege to sit down with formerly incarcerated men and women who I can see have made a change and an impact, and that's doing something better with their life.
Definitely.
And thank you for your services. Thank you for finding your voices, and thank you for being a part of your community, giving solutions instead of staying and being a problem.
Listen,
You know?
and I plan on, like I said, I had a big vision for success after lockdown, and it's it's bigger than the podcast, man. We on the podcast right now. At the same time, it's going bigger than that. So I plan on doing a documentary, man, and I need you brothers there, man, on that documentary for success, because y'all the success in your own right, like what was created here was something to give back to the community. So we taking this back to the community, and we giving it to the youth, and we showing the youth, and we showing a different side. There's a lot of podcasters out here, with formerly incarcerated men, for the most part that I see, maybe women as well. But I think we here to show that genuineness, that side. Not to say nobody ain't genuine, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that we actually doing something for our communities, man. And I want to touch base on that and show that. I want to highlight that, as much as I can. And y'all men and women that's formerly incarcerated, are here to actually take us there, man, to that next level. And
absolutely, thank you for that, my brother Eric. And yes, for all of our listeners out there, thank you for tuning in to the podcast. We truly appreciate you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email us at successafterlockdown@gmail.com. You can follow us, subscribe onto our YouTube page. Leave drop a comment, Spotify, Apple Podcast,
Anchor,
yeah,
Facebook, Instagram.
We're gonna be everywhere. Look out for Success After Lockdown. Brothers, thank you so much. Everybody that's out there, change is possible. Yeah, absolutely.